Okay, I don't want to speak too heavily on recurrence right now, but that will come in later. Um, but the data of the world coming in and being interpreted by the nervous system and the nervous impulses of the physiology of the prelinguistic baby are are relative to this data, and so if the baby has a response or some sort of natural expression relative to blue being put very close to it, a blue item, and which is different than if you put a red item in front of the baby, then the blue item is let's say that when the blue item shows up, we call that an occurrence. Oh, the baby responded like this. Now you take it away, and then when you bring it back, the baby has that same response to blue, or this could be a sound. It could be an adverse sound, it could be a scream, it could be a lullaby, it could be a lot of different things where the baby has a different reaction to it. Well, from baby point of view, as if we're going to speak about that now, is that there is this data that's coming together, and this data in this coming together, in this accented moment, we say the clap was an occurrence. It happened. Okay, so the clap was an occurrence, and then I clap again, and that's a recurrence. So we have an occurrence, the first one, then we have a recurrence. So this is the second one. Now, the viewer can cognize that this is different than. Okay, so that's the first one recurring again. So the cognition of that pattern is one thing, but the recognition, another layer of data where the impulses in our brains in the pre-linguistic infant are now recognizing an occurrence, a repetition of the occurrence, or the recurrence, and then they are cognizant of this one, meaning they're responsive to it. They're now watching how they're responding to it. Let's say they move their hand in front of it, in front of blue, so, or yellow. Yellow, and they move their hand in front of their face, or they blink, and then they respond differently to the green. So the data, as it's changing and is accented, then the child may, in closing its eyes or in blocking out the data, start to recognize the occurrence of its own physiology, blocking either with its nose, with its blinking, or accenting, or making more profound through its breathing patterns, these types of things. So the child then is able to cognize an event and then recognize the event. So you have the first occurrence, then you have a recurrence, then you have a cognition, then you have the recognition of the cognition, or recognition. So basically, the prelinguistic infant is going through a series of these data impulses, including the difference, the distinction between what it influences under its own body and what it doesn't, which if you take away the item from the baby, no longer can it get it, so it wails where it's not getting what its body can reach, and or what it's trying to reach or do is not fulfilled. So this is just a natural description of how language works. We see how kids interact with words. We're very impressed when a child speaks mama or dada, and we note, and there's speculation theories as to why people talk in high-pitched voices and say, "Hi, baby." And they clap and they sing and they do different things and different events to stimulate and interact and play with the baby that are going to influence the baby's interaction with it recognizing itself and then being able to articulate the sounds which it is inheriting. It's inheriting the language. Okay, so the language already existed. People spoke well before I was born and well before you all were born, and your parents and your environment and the data of sounds coming together, being articulated into repetitions, is the inheritance of the primary basis of language.